Hey, how can I help you?
I have something here that I think you're going to be very interested in. This is Nikola Tesla's very first prototype motor, built in 1887.
That's really, really cool.
What is Tesla?
Tesla made more contributions to our way of life today than any other engineer or scientist in recorded history. I decided to come here today to the pawn shop to see if they would be interested in buying my Tesla prototype motor. This motor should be worth $1 million. In today's economy, I am trying to sell this motor for $250,000.
How did you find this?
This motor was made by Tesla's assistant, and he sent it to William A. Anthony, who is the professor of electrical engineering at Cornell. Tesla wanted Anthony's endorsement. This motor stayed in the vaults at Cornell until a couple of people recognized this as something interesting, and I bought it from them.
Tesla was probably the smartest man of the 19th century. He basically invented the electricity we use in homes. He invented alternating current.
That's right.
If this is actually Tesla's first motor, it's like finding the lost ark for technology buffs. It would also mean it's worth an incredible amount of cash.
Depending on which of these switches you closed first or second, the rotor would rotate this way or rotate this way, which is the basis of all alternating current motors.
What's that mean?
Okay. Before this, they had direct current, like battery power. DC current was only good for a mile or two. As opposed to alternating current, the electricity could go 100 miles in a wire. It was just much more efficient. Do you understand?
Sure.
Nikola Tesla was obsessed with electricity, and his greatest invention was the alternating current motor and generator. He's without a doubt one of the greatest inventors of all time. How much did you want for it?
$250,000.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a out-of-this-world number if it's Tesla's original motor. But I have to have someone I know tell me what it is before I start talking numbers. So let me make some phone calls. All right?
You got it.
I'll be right back.
All right. Thank you. I am totally convinced that this is the original. If they want to bring in an expert to verify it or whatever, I'm happy with that. That's fine.
Oh, I spotted Mark.
Hey, Chum.
The guys normally call me down here when they have an unusual historical piece, because after 35 years of running museums, there isn't much I haven't seen at one point or another.
This man believes he has Nikola Tesla's original induction motor.
Interesting. Tesla is one of those characters out of the 19th century that everybody should be aware of. You know, the amount of change that he brought to our lives that we're still dealing with today. It was Tesla's design that created the first major power plants. In fact, they used Tesla's designs to create the power plant at the bottom of Niagara Falls. What makes you think that this is Tesla's prototype?
Because it came from William A. Anthony, who's the professor of electrical engineering at
Cornell, right. Mm-hmm.
Because it follows exactly the patent description of May 4 of 1888.
He did a design for an engine. He actually did two, sent both of them to Professor Anthony. And Professor Anthony tested them. He was so impressed that he went to the American Institute for Electrical Engineers and talked them into inviting Tesla to come in and speak. And this is an image from his talk. When Tesla spoke, this is the motor that he demonstrated. Nikola Tesla is one of the most important people in the history of electrical use in the history of the modern world. In the account, Professor Anthony is brought up on stage and was asked to speak about what Tesla was saying. And that's where I think I have some bad news for you. Professor Anthony said, these appear to be the same motors that I tested. So they weren't left behind at Cornell. But what I think you have here is probably the 19th century teaching version.
I know you've done your research, but I respectfully disagree. The design of this, which matches the patent, far exceeds the engineering design in this illustration. I think this precedes that motor.
We have a different opinion. That's going to happen. Unless you found a picture of Tesla holding this, it's going to be very, very hard to prove.
Thanks for coming in, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's nothing I can do with it. I mean, I gotta respect Mark's opinion, and if he doesn't believe it's Tesla's, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm definitely disappointed that I'm not going to have the lost ark of technology in my shop. I'm just glad I didn't drop $250,000 on some teacher's visual aid. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I think the guys made a huge mistake today. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I know they're going to regret it.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, good. I have something you might be interested in here.
What do you got?
I have a really old coin.
That is cool, and that is not a coin. This is a Benjamin Franklin terracotta plaque. These were really popular in France back in the late 1700s.
It's a coin to me. I got this to my grandfather's estate. It just was in a really nice fancy box, and I figured, well, it's got to be worth something. I'm coming down here looking for $10,000. $10,000 is gonna buy me a lot of textbooks. I'm a broke college kid. Might even pay for some beer.
Ben Franklin in 1777 goes to France because we need some money. When this guy shows up in France, he's hanging out with French royalty. Everyone wanted to meet this guy. Everyone wanted to be around him. People loved him so much, a company started making these plaques. And they were hanging them on their wall because everyone loved him because he was such a rock star. Ben Franklin is arguably the most loved founding father, but that doesn't mean everything associated with him is collectible. And even though this terracotta medallion is really, really cool, I have no idea what this thing is worth. It's in really, really good shape. I'm assuming it was put in this box later, years down the road, and they glued it to the back, so I don't know if that's gonna be a big deal. How much are you looking to get out of it?
I think it's worth $10,000.
Quite frankly, I have no idea. I've seen one of these before, but it's been over 20 years ago, and to tell you the truth, I can't remember what it was worth back then. But I know that they're worth money. What exactly that money is, I don't know if it's $500 or $10,000. But I do have a buddy who lives and breathes this kind of weird stuff, and he'll know. So if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, I can get him down here?
I have some time.
Okay, cool, man. I'll be right back.
Let's do it. I'm excited to see what the expert has to say about my piece and shed some light on what the value might be.
Ben Franklin terracotta thingy I remember from like 20 years ago, but I'm not exactly sure what I remember.
This is fantastic. It is a Ben Franklin terracotta medal made by an artist named Jean-Baptiste Nini. It's right from the most important part of the American Revolution in some sense. 1778, he signed the agreement with France, which turned the tide of the war. So it's an incredible historical object. Ben Franklin was quite a celebrity, and he was a natural subject for an object like this, which was intended to be sold to the general public.
What do you think? Does it really hurt the value of the glue on the back of it?
Well, it doesn't actually hurt the value. It's a uniface medallion. What's important is the front of the piece.
Okay. So what do these things go for?
These are not very common, and this one's actually in very good shape. They're worth to a collector $1,500 to $2,000, in that range.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought the thing was worth 10 grand.
They were never worth quite that much, but there was a time that this might have been worth $5,000.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. This piece is actually quite rare. If you wanted to go out and buy 20 of them in 6 months, it would be absolutely impossible.
So obviously you're not going to get 10 grand for it.
Make me an offer.
I'll give you $1,200 for it.
No. I'll take 2,000 for it.
No. I'm assuming I'm going to get that for it.
18.
No. $1,200.
18.
All right, well, have a nice day. I mean,
You sure you don't want it?
I don't want it for that. I mean, you have to look at my... I got a business here.
I'll come down. I'll sell it for $1,400 to you right now. Otherwise, I'm leaving with it.
You know what? You got a deal.
All right.
Thanks, man. I'll meet you right over there. I'll have one of my guys grab it. I'll meet you right over there, and we'll do some paperwork.
All right, let's do it. $1,400 I feel is fair. It's gonna go towards my student loans. I need some new tires for my truck, too.
Morning.
Hey, so what do we got here?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. This is some type of military equipment.
Cool. I've actually had one of these things before. These were commissioned from Edison in World War II to teach the troops how to do Morse code. When you went to the Signal Corps, you sat in front of one of these things for a couple months. Because if you're doing Morse code for the coordinates where to bomb someplace, you don't want to screw up at all.
Recently, my 92-year-old father passed away, and this was an item that was in a storage room that he had on the farm. It looked like an interesting piece. It might have some museum quality to it, or it could be used by somebody that has just an interest in electronics.
It's really, really cool. World War II was the biggest ramp up of industrial production ever. Radio technology was pretty good if you're at home, but if you're in more like battlefield conditions, radio still sort of sucked. You have bombs going off, you have a lot of static, it's gonna be really hard to get your message out clearly. But beep, 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 you know, just, even if that has a little static,
You can hear through it.
you can completely understand it.
So it's got a Morse code key here and a set of earphones,
So literally this right here
right?
would screw in right there to your key code.
Oh, okay.
So you would listen to it with this, and you would tap it out, and it would also write onto the cylinder too, so you could hear it later. It literally has a set of beeps in it.
As it sits today, just
Right there, you can see
Yeah.
you can see the grooves in it.
Okay.
So, how much do you want for it?
Well, I was looking about 600.
Okay. Right after World War II, they sold off trillions of dollars of military surplus. And this might have gone for 50 cents.
Oh.
But it's a pretty obscure device. I'd give you 200 bucks for it.
Would you take 400 for it?
I'll go 250.
Would you give me 300?
I probably shouldn't, but I will.
All right.
I'll meet you right up front, and we'll do some paperwork.
Okay, good enough.
All right. If Chum was a telegraph operator during World War II, we'd probably be speaking German now.
Hey,
what can I help you with, man?
this is a book that was printed by Benjamin Franklin.
Okay. Printed and sold by B. Franklin, 1945. I mean, 1745, excuse me. 1945 would be a little bit off.
I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my book that was printed and sold by Benjamin Franklin in 1745. I'd like to sell the book because I have no use for it and I could really use the money. $1,500 is probably the lowest I'll take.
How did you get this thing?
This was in my grandma's attic and came across this.
Benjamin Franklin was one of the forefathers. He was an inventor, he was a statesman.
You know, he was considered one of the greatest inventors of his time. He never patented anything because all of his inventions, he said, were for the people. He almost controlled all the printing in this country. I mean, the majority of the printing was done by him, all the way from New England, all the way down to the Caribbean. Benjamin Franklin was an author, scientist, printer, and diplomat. The man did it all, and anything tied to him is potentially worth a fortune. It's a religious book. The Confession of Faith, catechisms. You didn't put the tape on here, did you?
No, that's antique right there.
Okay, because whoever put the tape on there did more harm than they did good. It kills me that someone tried to tape this thing back together. But since it appears to be published by Ben Franklin himself, I think it still has value. So what do you want to do with it?
I was hoping to sell it. I did a little research on it, and it goes for auction like anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000.
3,000 to 5,000 in what shape?
It's older than the Declaration of Independence.
So is he, but that doesn't make him worth a lot of money. The problem is, I don't know what it's worth being in such bad shape. So let me call somebody up, get him down here, and he'll take a look at it, and we'll talk to him and see what we can do. All right?
Okay.
All right, I'll be
Sounds
right back.
good. I think the expert's gonna come in and realize the book is authentic and worth a little bit of money.
Hey, Rick, how are you? Rick usually calls me in whenever he has any historic American items. Oh boy, is this fragile. The Confession of Faith, printed and sold by B. Franklin, 1745. He printed 16 books himself where he put money out of his own pocket. And although he did only a few himself, he did a number of books for other people. This is one of the religious books he would have been contracted to print during the day. It's rare to find any book that's printed by Benjamin Franklin. He tried to stay away from printing books because they were so costly and so hard to accomplish. You're missing the first 6 pages, and they taped in page 7 and 8. Typically, collectors want a complete edition of a book.
So what do you think it's worth?
If it were in really nice condition, I would think that it would be something in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. But in this kind of condition, being so rough, maybe $1,500 to $2,000.
Thanks, Danny. You're
Take
the
care.
best.
Very nice meeting you.
So what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, I'd definitely like to sell it.
Okay, so how much you want for it?
I was thinking maybe $1,200.
I'll give you $500.
500? This is a piece of history,
This is a
man.
nightmare is what this is.
It's a monstrosity. I really don't want it, Rick.
This could have some kind of secret Freemason code in it.
Yeah, that I doubt. But the problem is, I have to put this out for sale, okay? I start showing it to a lot of customers. The condition it's in, I'm really afraid something bad's gonna happen
Yeah, it's
to
gonna
it.
fall apart like a $2 watch.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 6 1/4, and that's all I'm gonna go.
650 maybe, meet in the middle?
You know what? I'll do it, 650.
650.
All right.
Got a deal.
I'll write you up.
I was hoping for a little more, but the book was just collecting dust in the attic, and 650, I'm happy.
What is this? I know who he is.
Yes, Nikola Tesla. A very rare poem written by Tesla.
I did not know he was a poet. He was like one of the greatest engineers ever.
This is a poem that Tesla wrote right after he had his first big argument with Thomas Edison.
That's really, really cool.
Most people don't know who Tesla is, but Tesla gave us everything we have today. We wouldn't have TV, we wouldn't have radio, we wouldn't have radar. Tesla wasn't really a poet, and that's why it was rare. I've never, ever seen anything like it.
Turns out this was probably one of the smartest guys ever. I mean, this guy is right up there with Einstein. He got together with Westinghouse, created alternating current, what we use in homes now. And there was a giant battle between Westinghouse and Edison over what should be used in homes. AC, which was alternating current, versus DC, which is direct current. That's why we have the electric chair, believe it or not, is because Edison wanted to show how dangerous Westinghouse's alternating current was. So he actually went on stage at fairs and electrocuted elephants and killed them. I mean, that's just sick.
Yeah, quite amazing. Tesla, to combat that, put 5.5 million volts through his body and arced off of his fingertips 5.5-foot bolts.
I mean, just an incredible guy. You know, a lot of people attribute the invention of electricity to Edison. It was really
Tesla.
It was really Tesla.
He turned down the Nobel Prize because he was supposed to share it with Edison. That's how bad the feud was.
Edison and Tesla, straight up, didn't like each other. Edison actually tried to prevent Tesla from using his light bulbs. So in response, Tesla invented the fluorescent light bulb. Okay, the plaque says, this verse illustrates the humorous side of Tesla.
Now, this is believed to have been written because when he first came to this country, he went to work for Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison said, if you can fix my generators, I'll pay you $50,000. Tesla fixed Edison's generators, and when he went to get the money, Edison said, no, I'm just joking.
He said, I'm just joking. That's the way we do it in America.
Exactly. That's how the feud began between the two.
Okay, so let's see what it says. Poetry does not pay better. Try to make hay, mind the sophomore, and bother me no more. All right, so it's a little esoteric. Basically what he's saying is you're gonna have to work to make your money and get the amateurs out of the way.
Well, basically, he was going to work and do what he needed to do to prove Edison totally wrong.
The fact that two of the greatest inventors in history had a feud is a crazy story. And if Tesla actually wrote a poem about it, I want to buy it. Now I just need to find out, is it real? How much do you want?
Well, it's been valued at $5,000.
Okay, we're not out of the ballpark here. I'm gonna call someone. I'm gonna get him down here to take a look at this. If it's legit, well, I'm definitely gonna try and do business with you because I consider this one of the coolest guys in history. I will be right back.
Thank you.
This guy has a poem written by Tesla, supposedly.
Wow, okay.
And I am in awe.
Absolutely. I mean, Tesla was the man. I mean, from an early age, he could solve problems in a day or two that people would take, you know, probably years to do. And he was just on a genius level. I think he was off the charts.
I mean, to me, I've always been pretty fascinated with the guy. He invented so much stuff.
I mean, you do know that's where they coined the term mad scientist, right?
It doesn't surprise me. I just want to make sure it was written by him because even 100 years ago, people were faking stuff by him.
All right, first thing I want to do is take a better look. I see some variances of the ink. It's getting lighter, it's getting darker. And I believe it's a live ink signature, so at least we know that there's ink here on paper.
Okay, so it's not printed, it's someone actually wrote it out with an ink pen.
Absolutely. Next thing I want to do, Rick, is I want to look at this thing side by side compared to the examples that I have.
Okay.
So when I start to look at this signature and I come in here, it's very basic, it's very simple. He has a distinct angle to the right, and it's not really too complicated. And when I start to see the two together, I'm starting to look at what appears to me are very similar signatures.
So do you think it's all legit?
Well, based on what I'm seeing here, the ink, the analysis I've done, the signature comparison, I think we've got a legitimate signature here.
Okay, sweet. What do you think it's worth?
Based on rarity, good ballpark, retail figures about $2,500.
Don't you think that's a little low? I mean, I've had it appraised at over $5,000.
Right, I understand that. I understand the appraisal value, but also at the same time, I think it's kind of hard to find a buyer for this. To be quite frank, a lot of people don't really know much about the guy anymore.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.
So what do you want for it?
Well, you know, how about $2? And I know you want this. I can tell you do.
But I'm a business owner. I can't fall in love with things. Take $1,500 for it?
16's the lowest I can go.
Got a deal.
Got a deal.
Okay. I'll meet you right over there. Let's write this thing up.
Got it.
It's really cool to own a handwritten poem by one of my heroes. Maybe it'll get lost somehow and I won't be able to sell it.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, and yourself?
What we got here?
The 1901 Thomas Edison phonograph.
They make hip-hop reels for this thing, or?
Nope. I'm coming into the pawn shop to sell my 1901 Thomas Edison phonograph. What I really like about this phonograph is the fact that it was built by Thomas Edison and runs beeswax cylinders, and I think that's pretty cool.
So does it work?
Yeah, it works. It works awesome.
All right, where'd you come across that?
I was traveling to a rodeo in Tucson, Arizona, and came across a guy that was pretty hard up for some cash.
All right. So how's this thing work?
Runs off of beeswax records. Slides on here like this.
Okay.
And then you lock it into place like this. And then it has a reproducer, which is like a normal record player that has a needle right there. So you lock it into place like this. And then you take the handle and you put it on the side here. Lock it into place. Put the horn on right here. And you just drop the needle.
It's got to be the worst sounding I ever heard.
Wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad, buddy. This could be the worst thing I ever heard. I can't believe anybody actually liked this stuff. But it's got Thomas Edison's name on it, so I assume it's worth a lot of money. So what are you looking to do with it, man? You looking to sell it or pawn it, or?
I'm looking to sell it.
How much are you trying to get?
I'd like to get about $1,400.
I'll be honest with you, man. I just don't know enough about them. I'll tell you what, I'd like to have you speak with my grandfather. He probably had one of these in his living room. He might know what it's worth.
That would be great.
All right.
Okay, great, thank you. Appreciate it.
So what's so cool about it, Grandpa? Did you have one of these when you were a kid or something?
Yeah, right. Back in the days, these were the cat's meow to have in your house because there was no televisions, there was no radio, there was no nothing. This was the first piece of entertainment built for the home industry. Thomas Edison was an inventor. He invented the light bulb and the movie camera. He was also a businessman. He made things that rich people wanted to buy, and that's the way you make money. Corey, have you heard it play?
Yeah, some stupid song about Irish and whiskey and...
Well, you can relate to that. What do you want to do, guy? You want to sell it, pawn it?
I'm looking to sell it.
And how much you looking to get out of it?
I'd like to get $1,400 for it.
Well, I bet you would. I'm looking more at about $500.
I have over 13 beeswax records and extra accessories and parts.
Let me try to explain something to you. Whoever buys this is going to set it on a shelf in their house and tell everybody what a good thing it is. As far as records and stuff, they're never going to play it.
$750.
$550?
There's 2 other big horns that go with it.
Tell you what, with the extra stuff, I'd go to $700.
You want to go seven and a quarter?
$675, that's my last offer.
$700, we got a deal.
All right, we got a deal, sir. Corey, take care of the paperwork. I'm glad that I bought the phonograph, but I hope Corey was taking notes, for that's the way that you negotiate.